So, is a robot going to do your job better than you? It's a question that's probably crossed your mind, right? Especially with all the headlines screaming about an AI takeover. But what's really going on beyond all the hype? Well, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're digging into a huge 2024 report from the National Academies of Sciences to see what the evidence actually tells us about AI, our jobs, and yeah, our future.
Okay, let's just get right to the heart of it. The story we hear all the time is the job apocalypse. You know, robots march in, take every single job, and it's chaos. But the consensus from the top researchers, it paints a totally different and honestly a way more interesting picture. It's not a job apocalypse, it's a job transformation.
So here's the game plan for how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll sort out the hype from the reality. Then, we'll dive into this weird productivity puzzle. We'll look at what history tells us about jobs, explore how the whole idea of a skill is changing, look beyond just the money, and finally, talk about how we can actually shape our own future with AI. Now, our guide for all this is a really important 2024 report from the U.S. National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine. And this isn't just some person's opinion, okay? This is a consensus based on evidence from a whole committee of leading experts. It gives us a real, sober, scientific look at what's actually going on. This brings us to a really fascinating question. I mean, if AI is as powerful and revolutionary as everyone says it is, why aren't we seeing this massive boom in productivity across the whole economy? Where are all the amazing gains we were promised? Well, the answer, it's a little complicated.
First, we have to get our heads around what AI is, at least from an economic point of view. The report calls it a general-purpose technology. And no, that's not about ChatGPT. It's a much, much bigger idea. Think about something like electricity or the internet. These are technologies that don't just tweak one little industry, they completely rewire the entire economy. And that kind of rewiring, it takes time.
And that's where we get the answer to our puzzle. Economists have a name for it, the productivity J-curve. Now, it might seem backwards, but when a huge new technology like AI shows up, productivity can actually dip at first. I mean, think about it. Companies are pouring tons of time and money into training people, doing research, and totally redesigning how they work. All that effort happens before you see the payoff. And chances are, we're living in that dip right now.
So here's the main takeaway. AI is not some magic plug-and-play solution. To get that big upward swing in the J-curve, the report is crystal clear. You need these huge complementary investments. And we're not just talking about buying some software. We're talking about retraining whole workforces, redesigning the very core of how a business operates, and even rethinking the entire org chart. It's a total overhaul. Okay, let's shift gears to the topic that's on everyone's mind, jobs. That fear of mass unemployment is very real. But the National Academy's report suggests that if we look at history, it tells a very different story than the whole apocalypse scenario. 47%. You probably saw this number everywhere back in 2017. A super influential study came out and said that nearly half of all US jobs were at high risk of being automated away relatively soon. I mean, this one stat pretty much fueled the entire job apocalypse story. But what actually ended up happening? And this is where it gets really interesting. That study? It gave accountants a 97% chance of being automated out of existence. But just look at the data. In the years since that prediction, employment in accounting actually grew by 19%. This tells you right away that the real story of automation is not simple replacement. This really gets to the report's main finding when it comes to jobs. Technology has always been this powerful engine of creation. Think about it. Jobs we all take for granted today, like a social media manager or a data scientist or an app developer, that would have sounded like pure science fiction back in 1940. The evidence from history is clear. Technology creates more jobs than it destroys. The real question is, what kind of new jobs is AI going to create? But, and this is a really big but, the report is very clear that this time is different in one crucial way. Generative AI is not just another robot on the factory line. It's coming for a totally different kind of work. This slide right here shows the fundamental shift. You see, in the past, automation was all about muscle. It went after routine, physical tasks that you could easily program a machine to do over and over again. But generative AI, it's different. It's about the mind. It's targeting the non-routine, the cognitive, even the creative tasks that we all thought were safe, the work of knowledge workers. And that means the list of jobs being affected is
Well, it's not what we expected. These are not factory jobs. The report points to professions we always considered totally immune to automation. Writers, lawyers, doctors, even software developers. We're talking about careers that require years of special training. Now, AI isn't necessarily replacing these people, but it is radically changing the skills they need to have to succeed.
This timeline really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? We went from valuing hands-on craft in the artisanal era to the sort of rule-following mass expertise of the industrial age, then to the elite expertise of the information age where having a college degree was everything, and now we're entering the AI era. And you see that giant question mark? That's because nobody knows for sure what the next form of valuable human expertise is going to be.
So far we focused on productivity and jobs, but the report really pushes us to think bigger, to look beyond just the economic bottom line and start thinking about the deeper impacts AI could have on us, as people and as a society. I came across this quote online, and it just perfectly captures this very real anxiety people are feeling. I mean, if we start outsourcing our thinking, our problem solving, even our creativity to an AI, what happens to our own skills? In this huge race for ultimate efficiency, are we running the risk of becoming cognitively bankrupt?
And look, this isn't just some philosophical question. The National Academy's report itself says that our standard way of measuring success, GDP, is incomplete. It just doesn't measure the things that actually matter for human well-being. You can have a GDP that's going up and up while things like happiness and social connection are tanking. The report argues we just need a bigger yardstick.
So what should we be measuring instead? The report points to broader things, like the Human Development Index, which includes health and education, or even something like gross national happiness. But the crucial point here is this: the ultimate success of AI cannot, and it should not, be measured only in dollars and cents.
This brings us to what might be the most important part of this entire explainer. The future isn't just something that's going to happen to us. The science is clear, we have choices to make, and the choices we make right now will decide what kind of world AI helps us create. This right here is maybe the most empowering message in the whole report. Technology is not destiny. The future of AI is going to be shaped by the choices we make. The policies our governments pass, the priorities our business leaders set, and the way we decide to educate the next generation. We are not just watching this story unfold, we are literally writing it.
And based on those choices, the report lays out 3 possible futures. One world where AI just makes inequality even worse. A more extreme world where most human expertise just becomes obsolete. Or a third, more hopeful world where AI empowers millions of people, giving them new, expert-level skills. The path we end up on is up to us.
And it all comes down to this one fundamental choice. Are we building AI systems with the main goal of automation, of just replacing human labor to cut costs? Or are we building them for augmentation, to be tools that complement our human skills, that make us better, smarter, and more capable at what we do? So this is the final thought I really want to leave you with. According to the best science we have, the biggest question about AI isn't a technical one. It's a profoundly human one. It's not about what AI will do. It's about what we will choose to do with it. Are we going to use this incredible technology to augment our humanity, or to just automate it away? That choice is going to define the next chapter of our story. So now I gotta ask you, looking back at this whole wild ride, what was the one milestone that really shocked you the most? Was it that first leap to general intelligence, or maybe just the sheer speed of how fast business adopted it? Drop a comment below. I'd love to know what you think.
Thanks so much for watching. If this whole journey got you as fired up as it gets me, definitely smash that like button and subscribe. Because this story is far from over, and we are going to be right here to unpack it all together.